Tick.
Welcome to the Overland Legend. Come and join us as we go on a trip back to paradise. You know, last year this time we came up to Paindane in Mozambique in the Inhambane province, and we had such a good time. Almost immediately when I got back, I said, I just want to go back again, you know. And I don't normally go back to the same place all the time, but we had such a good time, and I just thought I just got to go and do it again. So yeah, we are back again for a second round, and looking forward to it. And it's going to be a nice couple of days off. So let's see what we get up to for the rest of the week. We left on a Friday morning and headed for Moloth Park in Mpumalanga. As we went through Hectorspruit, we encountered the start of the dreaded coal truck queue, and that was still 28 kilometers from the border. So that made this truck queue 28 kilometers long. Unbelievable. It seems like the reason for the long queue was the delay at the border post, but this is not the reason. The real answer was waiting for us in Maputo. It's easy enough to drive down the right-hand side of the trucks as they are pulled over, but the real problem comes in trying to cross the road. At the turn-off to Moloth Park, you had to play chicken with the trucks because they just blocked the whole road. At Moloth Park, we spent the afternoon and stayed overnight visiting with family. On Saturday morning, we were at the Lebombo border by 8 a.m, expecting long queues as it was the start of a long weekend, but everything was quiet and normal. Crossing this border post is straightforward. First rule is to avoid all the hawkers and runners trying to help you or sell you stuff. As you approach the border, keep to the right as the trucks go left. The first police checkpoint usually don't stop you. Once past the police point, keep left and drive around the left-hand side of the Customs and Immigration building. There is parking before the building as well as next to the building and past the building. We park next to it. Inside the building you'll find Customs, which is first, which you don't need unless you're specifically importing stuff. So go straight to the immigration counter to get your passport stamped. And that's it on the SA side. As you leave the South Africa side, you can see the queue of people entering. This is fairly normal and often a problem when returning via this border post. This is partly why I like to re-enter South Africa on a quieter border post like Giriondo. As you enter the Mozambique side, you will get a gate pass from the official.
Hello. Thank you. Good and you?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, sir.
Then you drive in and keep left to find parking before the big white building. Inside here, you have immigration first, and all you need is your passport. After that, you will get your TIP or temporary import permit for your vehicle. For this, you need your vehicle documents. This used to cost 750 metakai, but this time there was no cost. Once done, you can drive out past the police checkpoint, where you will hand back your gate pass, and they may stop you and search your vehicle. When we got to Maputo, I found the answer to the long truck queue. The traffic in Maputo can be quite bad, especially around the port. So what is happening is that the Mozambican side at the border, they are limiting the number of trucks going through so that they can control the traffic in Maputo. Otherwise, these trucks would cause complete gridlock in Maputo.
There's the bridge from a different view.
Yeah, my road.
And there's a security guard. So
This
you
is
are-
like a dream. This is like the dream ATM.
We still had to draw Metokai, and finding a quiet ATM can be tricky. So this time we thought we had hit the jackpot with this perfectly placed FNB ATM.
Still on.
On this trip we decided to spend a night in Maputo, which allowed us to specifically visit Costa del Sol restaurant.
That's the sign that I was standing in front of.
This was special for us as almost to the day 19 years earlier we had a honeymoon dinner there. So we stayed nearby and used the opportunity to buy our last food supplies and take in the Maputo weekend vibes. Sunday morning the beach and road was quiet after a busy Saturday, perfect for the final day of travelling up to Inhambane. There was very little traffic apart from the normal working rural life. At many spots along the road you'll find cashew nuts being sold in plastic packets hung on trees. My favourite stop is the town of Marcia, as they have a bunch of sellers keen to do business. More than 40% of Mozambican farmers, over 1 million households, grow and sell cashews, and the processing sector provides formal employment to more than 8,000 individuals. Mozambique consistently ranks as one of the top global producers of traceable, single-origin cashew nuts.
Three. One, and one. And what's one, eh? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yo.
That's it, thanks.
On the N1 we passed more than 5 speed traps, all of them in the 60 km/h town zones. At this one I got pulled over for doing 66 km/h in a 60 km zone. According to the traffic law, the fine is 1,000 Metokai, or about 300 Rand. If you pay on the spot, make sure you get a receipt. Otherwise, you have up to 15 days to pay at a traffic office. Between Maputo and Inhambane, there are 5 toll gates, where the cost per car is between 40 to 50 Metokai, which is about 15 Rand, and the payment is in cash only and Metokai only. Thanks to these toll roads, the roads are in good condition. Mozambique is developing at a rapid rate, and fuel is readily available at an ever-increasing number of fuel stations, which also make convenient toilet stops.
Yo.
You want to stop there?
For the final stretch of our journey, I was looking to take a shorter, more interesting route from Jongamo to Paindane that I'd mapped out on the Tracks for Africa maps. There's this shortcut that I didn't take last time that I really wanted to take, and after taking some of the routes, you know, we took a shortcut up to Tofo through the tracks and, you know, through the dunes and that road was perfect. And then I'd also taken that route down to Casa do Mar to check out a place of a friend of ours, and that also worked out quite well. So I thought, you know what, this shortcut, I mean, I must take it, because these other routes have worked out really well. There's no problem. Anyway, so took the shortcut, and yeah, it didn't take long before things were not looking so good. So check out this shortcut to the route that we took. It was maybe not such a shortcut. I was expecting a 4x4 track, but what we found was looking a bit unused.
It says we can go, it's 2 cars. Okay, we'll just go.
Anyway, we kept going, and with the sand getting softer, it was better to let down the tires sooner than later. It was the first time I used these simple tire deflators, and they worked really well. From soon after the start, we never seemed to be on the right track, always just off to the side, but we were heading in the right general direction. The road was becoming less and less distinct, and as we approached 2 ladies for carrying water, we stopped.
Yeah, to Paindane. Yeah. There. So she's going to show me.
Oh, shame.
It looked like we needed to go right, and with some helpful directions, we managed to get back on the original track that I had plotted.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. I'm going to Paindane, eh?
Paindane?
Yeah. Fine. This way. Yeah, and then round. Yeah. Okay.
But the road didn't open up anymore as we navigated through trees and up and over dunes. I took a right fork, but watching the GPS it looked like we were now heading too far right and taking us southeast. So we had to turn around and back up a bit to the fork and then headed northeast. That was the right call, as we finally crossed onto the main access road that I was expecting to cross ages ago.
Not what I was expecting. I was thinking.
After this, I knew the route was fine, as we had travelled this previously down to Casa Dormant. After a short section through the coconut trees, we had the Daghatane Beach Estate in sight, on top of the dunes overlooking the sea. So it wasn't really a shortcut after all, but it sure was an adventure, and we were happy to finally arrive. Our base for the next 10 days was Catalina Lodge, a beautiful spot that we had stayed at previously, and it was great to be back again. From day one, the whales were spectacular.
Oh, wow! Wow, that was spectacular.
Wow!
And they were so close to shore we couldn't believe our luck. The humpback whale has a distinct body shape, with long pectoral fins and tubercles on its head. It's known for breaching and other distinctive surface behaviors, used for display, feeding, and communication. Little did we know that later in the week we would get even closer to them.
Because we've been there.
Even on a quick trip down to the beach the next day, we saw them just behind the reef, very, very close. Right next to Paindane is Kunjata Dive Centre, and they offer an exploratory divers course, which consists of a short theoretical course, a pool dive, and then a short ocean dive. Some of the non-divers, and the divers that had dived a long time ago, were keen to try this out, including the kids. The pool dive was great fun, and the kids absolutely loved it. and any doubts of doing the ocean dive were quickly laid to rest. Later that day, we headed back to Inhambane to go to the fresh food market and get some fruits and veggies. We drove around for quite a while, and it seemed like they were busy reconstructing the market area, so it was a bit difficult to find parking and know where to go.
Just trying to get the full experience. Look bored.
Checking stuff out.
But eventually we found parking and the temporary spot for the market. It was a great experience, and we found everything we needed. In fact, we found more than we needed. Yep, so here we are back in paradise. Really lucky to be back here in Mozambique again. But yeah, unfortunately the weather's not quite as nice as it was last year. So like quite a lot of rain and been quite windy, which is supposed to be good. But thanks to some bad planning on my part, I left my part of my kite surfing kit. I left it at home. I left my bar at home. Which is a bit disappointing anyway, so I'm heading out to Tofo just to see Kitesurf Tofo if I can get a bar. I'm not sure if I can because they've got different equipment to what I use, so I'll see if I can get that sorted out. But worst case, I just go for a nice drive. And with these roads, with a bit of rain, it's a bit more interesting for the roads, so a little bit of water around, and yeah, it's nice just to get out and see the area, and I'll go through up to Inhambane and then across to Tofo. So this first part's just a dirt road, and then after that it's a tar road into Tofo, so it's easy going. But yeah, it'll be lekker, and looking forward to the rest of the holiday. It's going to be nice. Still quite a lot of snorkeling to do. Some of the others have been off doing some diving today, and so I thought I'd just head out and see if I can solve my problems. Anyway, see how that goes, but all good, and just really lucky to be out having some time off. Well, my attempt to get a kitesurfing bar in Tofo was not successful because the equipment was too different and I couldn't actually get it sorted out. So I'm coming back empty-handed, but yeah, I had a lekker drive anyway, and driving back now just on this last section of the dirt road, and yeah, it's just lekker just to be cruising around Mozambique. I mean, you can't complain about that. So no kite surfing, but a little bit of extra driving, which is always lekker. When you wake up to this in the morning, you can't help thinking you're back in paradise. It amazes me how quiet and beautiful the pristine beaches are, with just a few locals and even fewer visitors. But walking on the beach, it's hard to miss all the different types of plastic pollution. Lighters, slops, bottles, packets, and all different types of plastic. From a distance you don't see it, but up close it's really concerning. And that's all I've got for this episode. You're going to have to wait for the next one to see how this trip finishes off, as we hit the beach and go underwater, take a boat ride and sample some more of Africa's absolute beautiful, splendid beauty. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.